So after what felt like forever, the Ironheart trailer is finally here. But at this point, does anyone even remember when they first announced this show? Because I swear, it's been 2 whole years of complete silence. No updates, no teasers or anything. Just a couple of leaks and rumors, and then boom, Marvel drops a trailer for Ironheart out of nowhere on the same day as one of the most anticipated superhero reboot movies.
Stupid.
And I don't know, it's weird, especially for Marvel, because when they want you hyped, they'll hype you. They'll shove it in your face across 100 platforms and give you 25 Empire magazine cover features and all of that. But with Ironheart, they have been acting like it doesn't even exist, which already has me thinking, did Marvel really believe in this show, or are they just dropping it now because, well, they kind of have to? And I have an interesting theory on this, so make sure you watch the video till the end. So the way that this whole thing has been handled from day one feels less like a major MCU launch and more like a contract obligation. And if that's the energy behind your lead-in to one of the smartest new heroes in the universe, then yeah, we might have a problem.
This is shit.
Because Riri is not some random throwaway character either. This is a genius level teen who literally reverse engineered Tony Stark's tech in her dorm room. But if you only know her from Wakanda Forever, you probably walked away thinking, wait, that's the girl who's supposed to carry Iron Man's legacy? Because to be honest, she didn't get much to work with in that movie. She popped in, dropped a couple of one-liners, helped build a machine, and then kind of dipped. So there was no real origin story, no emotional depth, or any clear character building moments. It felt like they just slid her in because they needed to introduce her before the Ironheart show dropped. And I get it, the movie had a lot going on with grief, geopolitics, Namor flying around with his ankle wings, but still, for someone Marvel supposedly had big plans for, Riri kind of got sidelined, which ultimately set her up to enter her own series with barely any audience connection. And if no one's attached to the character yet, that's not on the fans, that's on the setup. So anyways, now almost after 2 years, Marvel has finally dropped the Ironheart trailer, and visually it looks good. It's dark, it's moody, there's this pulsing red glow that shows up whenever things get intense. There's some serious energy to it. But here's the thing, for a trailer, it actually doesn't say much. Especially if you spend the first minute of it showing just one scene. We still don't know what Riri really wants other than building an iconic suit, what she's fighting for, or what her emotional anchor is. And that's where it gets tricky, because if this is our first real introduction to her as a main character and the trailer is not giving us much to grab onto, then who exactly is supposed to be excited for this show?
Oh, not me. Not me.
But at this point, I have not only stopped asking Marvel this question, but also to myself. So yeah, on one side, we have got Riri messing around with Stark level tech, but then right next to her, this guy is doing creepy magic rituals in abandoned buildings. Like, what are we even doing here? Is this a show about a teen genius, or is it about sorcery and blood sacrifices? Because those two things don't usually mix unless your name's Doctor Strange and you've got a cape that thinks for itself. But in Ironheart, it seems like Marvel's trying to blend those two worlds, like technology and mysticism, without really telling us why. And that's where people are starting to get confused. Like, why is the Hood even in the show? What's his beef with Riri? And more importantly, if this dude is going to be the main villain in Ironheart, then why him? Because even though he didn't get a ton of screen time in the trailer, the few seconds we do see him, it's kind of wild. I mean, the Hood is channeling dark energy, clashing with Riri in what looks like some half-finished warehouse. And yeah, he's clearly not just some street-level thug. But if you know the comics, you already know that's exactly where he started. His real name is Parker Robbins, and he's basically a criminal with a magical twist. In the comics, he's just a guy trying to get by until he steals a cloak and boots from a demon during a robbery. So those are what give him the powers, which include flight, invisibility, enhanced strength, and some mystical gunfire kind of stuff, as we have also seen in the trailers. And instead of going full sorcerer, he actually stays grounded in the criminal underworld. And that contrast is probably why Marvel picked him for this, because Riri Williams is all about logic, tech, and control. She builds things, she runs numbers, and operates in a world with rules. But the Hood, he's unpredictable, he's powered by emotion, by chaos, and by whatever ancient evil that gave him that magic in the first place. So putting them head to head isn't just a hero versus villain thing, it's a clash of systems. A kid who built her own Iron Man suit versus a guy who stumbled into ancient magic and decided to rob people with it. And that's the part that makes you want to pause for a second. Like, is this really the big threat Riri is going to face in her first solo series? A guy with demon boots and a grudge? Or is there more going on under the surface?
This is it.
Because if you look at some of the shots, the way the show seems to be flirting with darker, more supernatural vibes, it kind of smells like Marvel's hiding someone bigger in the shadows. And if you have been anywhere near Marvel in the last few years, you already know who might be pulling the strings. Mephisto.
He said it! He said it!
Now, to be honest, the Mephisto memes have become kind of a joke at this point. The guy is basically the Marvel's version of It Was All a Dream. But now, with Ironheart, this might actually be the first time the theory doesn't sound insane.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. In the comics, the Hood's powers don't come from some random cursed object. They come from Dormammu. But in the MCU, Dormammu's already had his moment in Doctor Strange. And Marvel tends to remix origins when it suits the bigger plan. So now people are looking at the trailer and wondering, and what if it's not Dormammu this time? What if it's Mephisto pulling the strings? And there have been rumors swirling around for months that Sacha Baron Cohen has already been cast as Mephisto. There were also reports about him filming something for Ironheart all the way back in 2022. Nobody at Marvel confirmed anything, but the rumor just never fully died, especially since Mephisto was name dropped in Agatha all along. Now, if they're actually doing this, if Mephisto is real this time, it could flip the entire tone of the show. This wouldn't just be Riri fighting some magic-powered street thug, it would be her getting dragged into the same kind of supernatural chess game that guys like Doctor Strange or Wanda usually deal with. And for Marvel, that kind of angle would say a lot about the risk they're willing to take and how they're connecting these seemingly random Phase 5 stories. But here's the thing. What if Mephisto isn't actually in the show? What if all this creepy red magic and this demonic energy is just Marvel teasing something without really committing anything? Because here's a solid theory that kind of tracks with how Marvel's been operating lately. Like maybe the original plan was to use Ironheart as a soft way to introduce Mephisto, not like a full reveal, but just enough to hint at him. But now, with how badly some of their recent shows have flopped, it kind of feels like Marvel has lost all its confidence.
You've changed, man. You've changed.
Like, instead of building hype for Ironheart, they're barely even acknowledging it exists. There were no big Comic-Con reveals, no serious marketing plan, no fanfare, just complete radio silence. So if they were planning something huge like Mephisto, it's totally possible they dialed it back. Maybe he still gets name dropped. Maybe there's a blink and you miss it tease. But right now, it feels like Marvel wants to distance itself from Ironheart as much as they can, and they just want to get over with it. And honestly, if that's the case, then yeah, this show is going to be terrible.
This is shit.
But what really bugs me is not just the Mephisto stuff, it's the energy around the show. Like, think about it. When has Marvel ever been this quiet about a brand new character getting their own series? There's no hype, no buzz, no press tour, not even those weird 15-second teaser clips they love dropping on Twitter. It's like they're just hoping the show quietly drops, makes through its 6 episodes, and disappears into the Disney Plus void with the rest of the mid-tier Marvel content. And that makes you wonder, is it a budget thing? Did they just not believe in the project from the start? Or did the reaction to Wakanda Forever and some of the other post-Endgame stuff make Marvel second guess themselves? So yeah, it's hard not to feel like Marvel is playing defense here. Like, they're not sure if Ironheart is gonna land, so they're keeping expectations low just in case it doesn't. And the second a studio starts thinking like that, that's when you have already set something up to fail. And it's not even about hating on the show, it's just the reality. Because if you're not willing to invest in your own story, why should the audience? And at the end of the day, I really hope I'm wrong. I hope the show turns out to be amazing, that it surprises everyone and Riri finally gets the spotlight she deserves. But right now, it doesn't feel like Marvel's betting on Ironheart to succeed. It feels like they're just crossing their fingers, dropping it quietly, and hoping nobody notices if it flops. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. If you like what you heard, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video, and I will see you guys next time.